What's up, my good people? I'm Joey Young, and I'm super excited to talk to you about an important topic of personal development, and that is upgrading your time management, improving your time management. And this is such an important topic because it really affects all areas of our life that we want to improve. I think if we have a goal at work, for example, we want to hit our numbers this quarter, we know that little investments of time every single day can create some incredible results over weeks and months and years, right? If we have these little habits and these little things, managing that well will produce. And I think too, if we're at home and we want to spend more quality time with people that we love, friends and family, if we have a goal of that, well, what do we need to do? We need to improve our time management, because at work, if we're not getting that stuff done and managing our time well there, sometimes it tends to bleed over into our personal lives, and then we don't have that quantity and quality of time that we want with people we love, right? I think too, if you have a health goal, for example, you want to lose some weight, time management, got to set aside time to exercise, cook some new foods, track our calories, all this stuff. Time management is so critical and foundational to improving our lives. And so I'm stoked to talk about it today. And I actually learned about this years ago. When I was a teenager, a mentor of mine who I really respected and who was very generous with his time with me, he actually offered to help me with a project that I was working on at the time. And we set up an appointment to meet and to work on this project. And, a few weeks went by, I'm at home, and I get a phone call. It's from my mentor. And the first thing I hear is, "Joey, are you okay? Where are you?" And I remember in that moment, my stomach dropped. I had completely forgotten about our appointment. And you know that feeling when you're caught in the act of doing something wrong, like right in the middle of it, and you're just like, feel horrible? That's exactly what it was. I just felt so bad that he had set aside time in his week to help me, and I just completely dropped the ball. And that was the day that time management really shifted in my mind, and my mindset about it changed. And I knew I needed to work on it because, I had just completely wasted my mentor's time, and the task, the project itself had not gotten done. So I started a digital calendar in my phone, started putting appointments in, and I started learning about prioritization, effective time blocking, and other topics of time management that really helped me to improve in this area. And I can't wait to talk to you about a few of those today. If you were to ask me about time management, what were the three things I would say about it? I really have 3 points that I think are really important on the topic of time management and improving our time management. And I think the first one would be, remember that your time is a resource. Your time is a resource. Well, what is a resource? Okay, it's something that's finite. It's a limited amount, right? There's only so much of it. And it's also something we can choose to invest or spend whatever way we want. So there's a limited amount. We get to spend it whatever way we want. And I think time in this example is actually really good to compare to money. Because if, money and time are actually similar in this area of being a resource, there's a limited amount and we get to spend it on whatever we want. Think about, for example, last month's budget. Okay, so we've got all the areas that you spent, you saved, you invested, you gave money. If we were to put it in a pie chart and had all these little, sections quartered off like a budget of all the ways you spent your money last month, I think this is a really helpful example because, we can infer a couple things from that. We know, first of all, where you'll be in a couple of years. If you continue to spend your money the way you are, we're going to know, how much you're going to have saved up. We're going to know pretty well, what possessions you're going to have, because how much you spend in a certain area of your life. And it's going to be a lot of good data in that area. Also, we're going to know, based on where you spend your money, what you find important, right? What you value. And this is pretty cool because we can tell by where you spend your money and where you save your money and where you give it to, all these different areas of the pie chart. We can say with pretty well accuracy, this person finds these certain things important. And so we take that example and now flip it to time. Okay, so now we're looking at last month's time budget. And this is really good to think about in terms of improving your time management, because if you think about your time that you spent last month in a pie chart, where you slept, where you rested, where you've worked on your skill set, where you worked on your business, where you spent time with people you love, where you took vacations. You just put it all in these little boxes and you think to yourself, okay, same thing. If I look at it, I can pretty well say 10 years from now, this person's probably going to be around this area of their life. They're going to have these skill sets. They're probably going to have watched this many movies. They're probably going to have developed these many relationships because they're spending time with friends in this area, and as well, I'll be able to tell what you find important with your life, because the way we spend our resources is how we show what we value, right? I think that if you looked at your time as a pie chart last month, you could pretty well say, this is what I find important. And I think this is really, really important to remember, because in time management, once you start taking it seriously and once you remember it's a resource, there's no longer language in your vocabulary around, I got an hour to kill here. Don't really know what to do. I've been bored for days, I'm in quarantine or whatever it is, to bring it to like this day and age right now. Like, we don't have that anymore because we know that our time is a resource. It's finite and we get to spend it however we want to. So it's really reveals where we'll be in 5 years and what we value. So there's a lot of importance attached to it. So that's the first thing I would say, is remember your time as a resource and plan it accordingly. The second thing I would say about time management is just to stop thinking that you're time poor. Stop thinking you're a time poor. This is such an important mindset to have about money. Time poor is that feeling like, I just don't have enough time. I just can't possibly fit that in. Like, I want to do this thing, but I just can't fit it in the schedule. I'm just so busy. You don't understand. It's so crazy right now. And whenever I hear people say that, I know that unfortunately they're giving away their power, because they're blaming the way that they spend their time on other people and things. And this is really dangerous, because if we're spending our whole lives blaming other people and things for the way that we spend our time, then we're not going to really accomplish and truly bring to fruition the things that we want to in our life, because we're living under other people's expectations and their agendas for our lives. I think that, thinking we're time poor is just such a dangerous mindset to have overall. And instead, a better mindset would be, think about it this way. I have a new opportunity to spend time on a certain project in my life. Maybe, I want to start a side business, or maybe I want to develop a relationship with a person and spend more time with them. Or maybe you want to expand the time that you're spending on something in your life. And you're like, okay, I have the opportunity to spend more time on this certain thing in my life. Instead of immediately thinking, oh gosh, I don't have time for this. It's too much. It's so busy already. Think about it this way. How could I make time for this if it's important enough to me? So now you're shifting your mindset from, I don't have time for this, to, I could have time for this, only if I find it valuable enough for me to make time for this, based on what I'm already doing. And see how this brings your power back? And now you have the ability to say, all right, I've got time. I definitely have time. I have 24 hours in a day, just like everybody else. What matters is not what, is so busy in my life and what the craziness is. What matters is it worth adjusting what I've got going on already in my time to fit this in? Does it have enough value to me? And that means that you are now directing your own destiny. You are choosing what you spend your time on, which is so critical and such an important mindset to have when talking about time management. So remember to think that you're not time poor. You have enough time to invest in the projects and the things that you want to do. It's just a matter of saying to yourself, I could make time for that, but do I want to? If I don't, great. I've got a lot of good stuff going on. No problem. Let it go. If I do, okay, let's take a hard look. Let's adjust what I'm doing. Let's make time for that. Simple as that. And now you have the power back. And it's really, really a good positive thing in your life with time management. So the third thing I would say about time management, it's been through two already. Third thing I would say about time management is to remember the most powerful tool in your toolbox, and that is the word no. The word no is so critical in time management, because what it does is a multitude of things. First of all, it unlocks your yes. Because for all the people pleasers out there who unfortunately say yes to so many things that come their way, in their life, just because people, know you're this person who does this thing, or you're just good at this, so just do this. They find it really hard to say the word no because they've just been doing things for years and years a certain way, or they're just good at stuff and they don't want to disappoint people, so they just say yes to things. Unfortunately, that disempowers the power of their yes, right? Because they're saying no to nothing, so they're saying yes to everything, which really means they're just doing a lot of things not very well, unfortunately. And I think that the power of no is to actually enable the yeses in your life really, really extraordinarily well. I think on top of that, the word no is just one of the most freeing feelings that you can have, because a lot of us feel pressure in our lives about things that we would like to do, but we just feel like we can't fit in right now. And I think a lot of us have projects and responsibilities that, we'd want to get to and we'd want to get done, but we can't fit in our lives right now, so we feel guilty about it. And I think the weight of that guilt and that feeling of like, oh, I've always wanted to do this, I always want to send that thank you note, I always wanted to, start that business. That weight is actually a really, really horrible thing to have on your heart for years or weeks or whatever the amount of time is. And so the ability to say the word no to something actually empowers your yes and makes you more excited about the projects that you actually do have time for and that you do want to focus on. And maybe it's just a no for now. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm busy, this is a hard no, I'm going to wait until 2021 to think about that. I'm going to write it on a note, put a reminder in my phone for January 1st, 2021, look at that note later, but for now, no. And that is such a freeing feeling. You got to remember, whenever we talk about time management, for 99% of people, when beginning in the area of improving their time management, it's not about getting more done in less time. That's not the problem most people have. The problem most people have is saying no to enough things so they have the time to work on the important things. It's saying no to the things that are unimportant and don't really add value to their life or move the projects forward that are important to them. So they have time to actually work on the things that are important. And that's a really important thing to remember. So those three things I would say are really important as far as upgrading your time management. I know that they seem simple and they're really not very practical. They're more mindset shifts, but they're crucial to making sure that we set the foundation for awesome time management in our lives. And I promise if you implement them, you can get started with this today. You're gonna find that stuff is freeing up in your life. You're feeling less weighty. You're more excited about the things you are working on because you're passionate about them. And ultimately, you're gonna feel more freedom in your day-to-day life. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it's my mission to give you tools that help you hit your goals and improve your life. It's an honor to be a part of your journey. Hey, do me a favor too and smash that like button on this video. I would so appreciate it. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next time.